Welcome back to another episode of Bermanology on Lettermen Row. I am your host, Jeremy Birmingham, or Berm. You can call me whatever you want. Today we are joined by Kourt Williams, a four-star athlete, linebacker, safety extraordinaire from St. John Bosco in California. A player that 5 months ago, maybe a lot of the Buckeye fans weren't familiar with, and then he made a visit to Columbus in March with some teammates, and all of a sudden, the name Kourt Williams was all over Lettermen Row and all over every other Ohio State website. Welcome to the show, Kourt.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm just going to dive in, okay? I mean, I know that you are a guy that is taking things slowly in the recruiting process. You're not an over-emotional guy. Like, you're not one of those dudes that goes on a visit and freaks out and falls in love with every place you've been. But, you know, you've made 5 official visits. You have a decision upcoming. It could be this week. It could be next. Where are you at in this process? And I guess ultimately, how are you separating those 5 schools from each other to come up with a decision?
I mean, like you said, I've taken on my officials. I have all the information that I need from each school. You know, right now I'm actually in the process of listing everything and putting out the pros and cons to everything, and sitting down with my family and the coaches at my high school and figuring everything out. I mean, of course, number one is the academics in terms of what they have for what I want to major in, and their alumni network for student athletes after they're done playing football. And, of course, the defensive scheme and how they have me fitting into the defense. A lot of schools have me, see me playing different positions. Some see me playing safety. Some see me playing linebacker. I'm trying to figure out what's the best for me. I really don't have a preference yet. I'm actually talking to my defensive coordinator at my high school about that right now. What's better for me, safety or linebacker, I'm not sure yet. And like location, I've decided early on that I wanted to move out the West Coast and out of California, so that's really not a problem for me. That's what I said.
So there are schools, as you said, some thinking safety, some thinking linebacker, some like Ohio State thinking a hybrid safety linebacker. We've talked in the past, and you've said that you thought that the bullet position at Ohio State is a position that suits your skill set perfectly, something that can have you playing up against the run or back in the safety spot. How have they explained that position to you, knowing that it's a new position for them? Have they been able to effectively outline what they expect from that role since they don't have it on film?
Yeah, I've been just talking to Coach Haffley. He's putting in that new defense. He told me before he was there, they were really a too high safety type defense, so they really didn't have a hybrid safety / linebacker type body that could play that bullet position. So, now that they have their defense, they're going to try recruiting guys like that and like myself. I'm able to utilize my DB skill sets in terms of playing the pass, playing the post, playing the half, guarding slots and all that, guarding tight ends. But I'm also able to instill in the run, stuff the run. And I feel like I'm able to do both. And so I feel like that position is really the right fit for me.
Ohio State fans are somewhat familiar with St. John Bosco High School after the addition of Wyatt Davis in the class of 2017 with the recruitment of Jaden Woodbay in the 2018 class. For you, though, when you made that first visit to Columbus in March, was it, surprising to you in any way? Obviously, Ohio State's an elite program, and you know that, but was there anything about that trip that maybe kind of caught you off guard where you said, whoa, there's something different here, and that's why you decided it had to be one of the schools to get back to for an official visit?
Yeah, I mean, I had been talking to Coach Haffley before I took the unofficial with my coach and my teammates, and just going around campus and talking to Coach Dave and a few of the teammates and talking to Wyatt. I mean, you really don't know what to expect on going to visits and going places you've never been. I tried going everywhere with an open mind, so just seeing where the direction is going in terms of their program and their defense and the guys they're recruiting, and the way the program is moving. It's that really intrigued me, and I wanted to take my official there. So.
With Wyatt being there, I mean, he's obviously a guy that played under Coach Meyer and has now spent 3 games last year and this part of this year with Coach Day. Has he been a resource for you that you've used regularly, or is that just sort of a, hey, he played at my high school, I can talk to him when I'm there?
Yeah, on my official, I talk to him a lot. I mean, I have his phone number, but we really don't keep in contact that much. But we did have a lot of talk on my official when I was there. And he just gave me a few insights and a few pointers on some things, and in terms of handling this whole recruit process and what happens when you actually get to the school. And he said he's open for any questions that I have. So he's definitely been a resource for me.
You were talking about the recruits that Ohio State's brought in, and that's one of the reasons why you're interested in them. Obviously, you're out there in California. Ohio State has made the West Coast more of a priority in this recruiting cycle than they have ever before. With Clark Phillips committed, the efforts to recruit you, the addition of Lathan Ransom, the hope that they're going to add Bijan Robinson and Jack Miller already there. Is that something that you guys who all kind of play in the same 7-on-7 circuits and get to know each other through various camps, have those players been an instrumental part of your relationship building with Ohio State or your interest building in Ohio State? And if so, how is the discussion with that group? And does the idea that you'd have 4 or 5 other dudes from your part of the country in Columbus with you make that more enticing?
Yeah, I mean, out of all of them, I really say I'm closest to Clark. And I was able to talk to Lathan on my official a lot more, and at the open, and I was able to talk to Lathan a lot. And knowing, talking to Clark and seeing, why he committed and all that. I mean, Clark has been a good friend of mine for a while now, for a long time. And knowing that there are a lot of guys, like you said, from the West Coast going, and they're recruiting a lot of guys out the West Coast, it's that really made me feel a little more comfortable. And it's not like we all got together and sat down and it was like, okay,
sure,
you know what I mean,
right?
But we've just been talking a little bit, like how you feel about this school, how you feel about that school. And, just like supporting each other through the whole way. And, I've never been the type of person to be a follower. I've never been the type of person to do something just because somebody else did it. I'm just, at this point, it's really what's best for me. So, I mean, that's really where my head is when it comes to all that.
I think it's interesting for fans to understand that some schools are seeing you as a safety, and those schools may have been the same schools that were recruiting Lathan Ransom, and obviously Lathan's now committed to Ohio State, and you're being a player in this role of a hybrid position. Is that like note-taking that you guys compare? Okay, this is what they're saying to me, this is what they're saying to you, and is it from what you've heard throughout that process and those conversations, has that reinforced what you felt about the Buckeye staff and the message that they were giving you, or has it helped, or has it provided weird moments where you're like, hey, wait a second, that's not what they told me, or is it kind of a thing that sort of all fits together?
If I understand your question, I mean, they're recruiting Lathan to my understanding, they're recruiting Lathan as a free safety, I believe.
Right.
And me as the strong safety, that bullet position. I mean, the conversations that me and Lathan have had, I mean, there isn't no, oh wait, they told me this, but why it's really been none of that. I mean, we both know they're recruiting me as a bullet, strong safety, they're recruiting him as a free safety. So, does that answer?
Yeah, absolutely. As one of the earliest players in this class to really get comfortable and familiar with Coach Jeff Haffley, what can you tell fans about what makes him a top-notch recruiter? Because right now he's the second-ranked recruiter in the country according to 247. And I guess people, they see the results, they see the additions of guys like Clark Phillips and Lathan Ransom and the hope for Buckeye fans that you'll join them. But what makes him effective in that role, and what do you guys like about him?
I mean, he's really transparent, authentic in everything he says. I mean, in his vision, him coming from the National Football League, coaching there, and now coaching at Ohio State, you know, what he brings to the table in terms of the defense and the whole program is really, really intriguing. I mean, his whole vision and where he sees the defense going. And, you know, he's real honest with everything. You know, he keeps everything real and 100 with you. So, and, you know, it's hard to you know, with some people, you know, it's hard to really see who's real and who's not, you know, and you kind of know when somebody is being transparent and 100% with you, and he's one of those people. And I feel like just knowing that he came from the National Football League, you know, he brings that understanding, and he knows what it takes to get to the next level. So that's probably.
Kourt, you play at one of the country's best high school football programs. It is a place that, more than almost any other school in the country, is preparing you for the next level of football and life and school. What is it, you know, do you see similarities, I guess, between what you guys do at St. John's, Bosco, as opposed to what they do in big-time colleges? Or, you know, what do you think the biggest adjustment is going to be for you when you head off to college?
And, you know, I've actually talked to Wyatt about that. I've talked to, you know, Jaden Woodley about that. A lot of, you know, Stephon Blaylock and a lot of my former teammates, you know, and I asked them what the biggest adjustment was. And, you know, I feel like, you know, going to a school like St. John Bosco is can really prepare you for the next level, unlike a lot of schools in the country, like you said. You know, in terms of the whole football and understanding schemes and just understanding the game, period. You know, how to handle yourself in terms of, you know, social media and the little things like that. I mean, I feel like maybe the biggest adjustment for me is, you know, knowing that I'm going to go somewhere far away. You know, I feel like, you know, being away from home, you know, that I feel like I'm going to get homesick sometimes. But I've already made that understanding of myself that, you know, I want to do this. So that's really not an issue for me.
Well, with the decision, you know, roughly a week away or so for you, an announcement, do you have any idea how you're going to do it? You're just going to put out a random tweet? You're going to do something crazy? You're going to jump out into a pool? I mean, what's the plan for you moving forward? You don't seem like a guy that it really cares too much about the fluff.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably, when I know the specific date, I might do this, but I know for sure it's gonna be a commitment video.
Okay. Well, listen, man, I really appreciate you joining Bermanology on Lettermen Row. Buckeye fans everywhere are obviously interested to know more about you, and I know that this process has been a long one and an arduous one. So, congratulations on nearly reaching its end. So, for Lettermen Row, I'm Jeremy Birmingham. That is Kourt Williams. Thanks for watching this episode of Bermanology.